Penguin Random House Audio presents The Bright Book of Life, Novels to Read and Reread by Harold Bloom. Read for you by Stephen Mendel. For Ursula Le Guin. Preface. The Lost Traveler's Dream. He said that the story was not his. Whose was it then? I never could ask, because he spoke it like a torrent. After a time, I lost the words and heard only their sound and tumult. It seemed like a dream narrative, spasmodic and flickering, yet a miracle of coloring, as though erotic beckoning were its only substance. I knew him well enough to find no relevance to his personality as it rocketed along. His was a dry soul, a limp leaf waiting for combustion. He dreamed of a western gate with vine leaves crimson on the wall. They whispered to him, and some seemed flying words that meant to strike him. I gave up listening and walked away. Directions have always been preternaturally hard for me. Rarely can I tell east from west. When I was younger, hiking was a burden, as I always got lost. Hopelessly I wandered on, and then I tripped and fell downward into what seemed a darkening hall. Landing on my feet was painful but not disabling. A lover of Cervantes, like everyone else, retrospectively, I realized I was imitating Don Quixote's descent into the cave of Montesinos. Part 2, chapters 22 to 23. Cervantes was parodying the epic journeys to Hades by Odysseus and Aeneas, though the sorrowful countenance is let down by a rope that is tied around him and then is hauled back up after rather less than an hour. He returns in what seems deep sleep, and with his usual passionate conviction says that he has been below for several days. The knight describes a crystal palace created by Merlin, the wicked enchanter. "With no less pleasure do I recount it," responded Don Quixote, "and so I say that the venerable Montesinos led me into the crystalline palace, where, in a downstairs chamber that was exceptionally cool and made all of alabaster, there was a marble sepulchre crafted with great skill, and on it I saw a knight stretched out to his full length, and made not of bronze or marble or jasper, as is usual on other sepulchres, but of pure flesh and pure bone. His right hand, which seemed somewhat hairy and sinewy to me, a sign that its owner was very strong, lay over his heart, and before I could ask anything of Montesinos, who saw me looking with wonder at the figure on the sepulchre, he said, 'This is my friend Durandarte, the flower and model of enamored and valiant knights of his time. Here he lies enchanted, as I and many others are enchanted, by Merlin, the French enchanter who was, people say, the son of the devil, and what I believe is that he was not the son of the devil, but knew, as they say, a point or two more than the devil. How and why he enchanted us, no one knows, but that will be revealed with the passage of time, and is not too far off now, I imagine. What astonishes me is that I know, as well as I know that it is day, that Durandarte ended the days of his life in my arms, and that when he was dead, I removed his heart with my own hands, and the truth is that it must have weighed 2 pounds, because according to naturalists, the man who has a larger heart has greater courage than the man whose heart is small. If this is the case, and if this knight really died, why does he now moan and sigh from time to time, as if he were alive?" Translation, Edith Grossman. This being Cervantes, the delight of absurdity is mixed with the Hispanic sublime. Durandarte is both dead and noisily alive. Palerma, his true love, keeps marching by, holding his heart in her hands. A young peasant girl, a friend of the immortal Dulcinea of Toboso, approaches Don Quixote with a new cotton underskirt as security for a loan of a half-dozen reales that Dulcinea desperately requires. The noble knight declines the security and empties his pockets to find no more than 4 reales, which he swiftly gives. I cannot say that I found Durandarte, let alone Dulcinea, but my dream returned to one of Ursula K. Le Guin's realms. Surrounded by shadowy forms, I strained to hear the voice of a woman chanting, "The money burned to ashes, the gold thrown away, footsteps on the air." In the dream, I could not recollect the source. I see now that I quoted the end of The Telling, 2000. Sati, Le Guin's surrogate, sums up the complex experience of a journey to the planet Akka in search of its lost spirituality. In her The Word for World is Forest, 1972, Le Guin cites a report that a Malaysian community, the Senwa, constructed their culture as a dream world founded on the formula, "Where did you fall to, and what did you discover?" Le Guin's supple prose intimates a charming skepticism, yet the formula is helpful. In last night's bad dream, my late and beloved friend John Hollander and I had arranged to meet for lunch somewhere in Lower Manhattan. Again, I got lost and fell down an open grate. Where did I fall to, and what did I discover? I have had a great deal of trouble getting up to my study recently. My friend and trainer of the last 13 years is away in Florida, and it might be a little dangerous to attempt it without her. In the dream, I fell into my own study, onto a pile of novels strewn about. One was by my friend Cormac McCarthy, but when I picked it up, I did not recognize it. I assumed that it was his work in progress. He phoned me this morning, when I was still iced over from a dreadfully early excursion to pick up my new hearing aids. In our conversation, he talked about his almost completed new novel. Only later did I realize that my dream had been proleptic. Today in mid-afternoon, I suddenly remembered 2 quatrains of William Blake and realized that I had seen them engraved over a gateway in a dream several nights ago. Verses from The Gates of Paradise, Epilogue, to the accuser who is the god of this world. Truly, my Satan, thou art but a dunce, and dost not know the garment from the man. Every harlot was a virgin once, nor canst thou ever change Kate into Nan. Though thou art worshipped by the names divine of Jesus and Jehovah, thou art still the son of morn in weary night's decline, the lost traveler's dream under the hill. In my nightmare, the gate was flanked by fearsome cherubim, waving flaming swords and frowning fiercely. Only now do I recall John Milton's expulsion of Adam and Eve from Eden. They, looking back, all the eastern side beheld of paradise, so late their happy seat, waved over by that flaming brand, the gate, with dreadful faces thronged and fiery arms. Some natural tears they dropped, but wiped them soon. The world was all before them, where to choose their place of rest, and Providence their guide. They hand in hand with wandering steps and slow, through Eden took their solitary way. I try to puzzle it out. Is my lost traveler's dream only another attempt to restore the satanic Promethean figure of Lucifer, son of the morning? My heart is with Blake and not with Milton, though the shadow of Milton all but eclipsed Blake's vision of the human form divine. What is the dream of reading your own way into secular revelation, the enterprise of my long life, if at last you must founder on the reef of intersubjectivity? Are we purely social beings, or have we experiences so inward that great poets, novelists, dramatists, storytellers can at once achieve adequate outward forms for them while retaining a sense of solipsistic glory, or is that only another delusion? I was myself the compass of that sea. I was the world in which I walked, and what I saw, or heard, or felt.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?